Tuesday. Happy Tuesday it's morning time. It's just past 11:11. It's like half past 11:11. No, it's probably 11:12. I don't know what time it is. Clearly. But I do know it's Tuesday, and I do know it's a good day, and I just wanted to pop on, give myself a little love, give myself a little playful movement, and invite you to join me if you feel like it. I'm crowding the edge of the Head Hutt here. Press on that. It's like always, it's kind of a good feeling that I don't do often enough. I just realized pushing on something. Hopefully I won't push the wall over. Built this thing myself. It's sturdy. I trust it. Anyway, pushing on something you trust can be a good exercise. Get that, again, I love that sensation of a diagonal line out my heel and out my hands or my fingertips. Just kind of running that diagonal energy through my body. Let's go up here and get different lines of tension, different lines of strengthening and stretching by pushing on something. You can do similar but opposite by pulling on something. Well, that's something you didn't know, right? Just kidding. All right, I'm gonna take a couple breaths and just bring my awareness into the bottoms of my feet. Root myself into the center of the earth. Let go of the stresses of the last breath of yesterday, of my ancestors, of my beliefs, and just be present in the moment, in the bottoms of my feet, in my core, in my spine, in my smile. Take a couple more breaths just to just kind of focus in on my whole posture, checking in with my head. Are my ears over my shoulders? Checking in with my spine. Are my shoulders over my hips? Checking in with those hips. Are they in a line with each other? Checking in with the knees and the legs. Are the hips over those ankle bones? Makes for a nice straight posture, hanging from the sky, rooted in the earth. Let's go ahead and roll down, checking in with the spine, one vertebra at a time. Nice and slow, just seeing where there's tension, where there's suppleness, where there's release wanting to happen. I'll take a couple breaths here to just hang from the hips, letting the spine get longer, letting the head go. Again, making sure those knees aren't locked. Let's come on over to the left side a little bit, gently, adding just a little torque with the hands on the foot or the leg. Pulling the torso a little bit more over that left leg. And then walking back to center, hanging here. Add the hands and the hair for a little extra weight. And then I'm going to come over to the right leg. Again, adding some torque and pulling the torso over that right leg for a front forward fold. And coming back to center and rolling up from the pelvis up through the spine, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Just checking in with that spine. Shake that out a little bit. Let's bring arms behind back, clasping hands, and with a straighter back this time, another forward fold. Again, making sure not to lock those knees. Coming down as far as is comfortable. Hanging here. Gonna play with letting those elbows float away away from each other a little bit, taking that stretch into the fronts of the shoulders, into the sides of the shoulder blades there. Just noticing where it is in my body. You might notice if it's somewhere different or similar in your body. And then rolling those shoulder blades towards each other, pulling those elbows towards each other, feeling how that's changing the stretch. For me, that brings it more to the front of my shoulders and more to the inside of my back, middle of my back, and down the backs of my arms. I'm going to release those elbows again and bring those hands down, checking in with the butt and the backs of the legs, the backs of the knees, calves, ankles, checking in with those toes. Hey, toes. Checking in with the ankles. I like to say, hey, toes. You might have noticed. Checking in with these knees. Hey, knees. I don't say that as much, but maybe I'll start. Hey, thighs. Hey, hips. Around to the butt and the abdomen and the torso. All those organs. How you doing, organs? The chest. Back of the back as far as I can reach. Let's get the hair back in line here. Hey, hair. Let's come down the arms. Just again, checking in with the whole body. Checking in with the body's energy. Dissipating excess energy. Dislodging stagnant energy. Balancing the energy in the body. Let's do some face and hair smoothing. Just releasing that back into the earth, the universe. Just realized the front door of the Head Hutt is open. It's blowing a nice breeze in here. It's kind of nice. Looks like a beautiful day out there in the neighborhood. Let's do a little balancing and stretching. Get this day off to a good start. I'm going to bring the left knee up toward the left shoulder. You could do this laying down as well. I'm trying to make sure that I'm balanced in through the pelvis there and not tilting. Bringing that knee up toward that shoulder. Let's give a little ankle rotation. One direction and then the other direction. Bringing my awareness into that supporting foot a little bit. Seeing if it's relaxed, which it is not. My toes are clenched. Find it challenging to relax that supporting foot, but helpful for focus. And I'm trying to make sure that the supporting leg isn't locked up in that knee. And reach for the bottom of this foot. See if I can bring that out front for a nice stretch. And then releasing with the right hand and bringing that out to the left a little bit. Again, try not to bend out to that opposite side so much. Staying nice and long and strong as possible. And I can't go out to the side because I'm hitting wall. So we'll just go to the diagonal. It's all right. And bring that foot on into the groin area for some more balancing. Again, checking with that supporting leg. Trying to remain as upright as possible and as relaxed as possible on that supporting foot. Letting go of those toes. Getting a nice wobble there. I'm going to set that down. Step that out and switch sides. Bringing the right knee up toward the right shoulder. Give a little ankle rotation. Again, you could do this laying down, or you could probably do a version of it in a chair. Be a little challenging to do while you're driving, so I don't recommend that. Of course, you shouldn't be watching a video while you're driving, so that's a moot point, isn't it? Again, checking in with the pelvic floor and the hips, trying to make sure I'm balanced and firm and supportive in that supporting leg. I'm going to straighten out this right leg in front a little bit. Trying to remain as long and strong through the abdomen and the spine as possible. And I'm releasing that left hand. I'm going to bring this right leg out to the diagonal, try to match to the side. Even though I could go out to the side, because I don't have a wall on that side, I like to try to explore my strengthening and stretching in a balanced way on both sides of the body. And I also try to play with diagonals and front and back and high and low. And let's bring this foot in here for balancing on the groin, and sometimes contracted or small and expanded or large and fast and slow. There's lots of ways to play with movement. You can do countering, contrasting. Again, I like those diagonal lines. You can do flowing. You can do staccato, straight lines. Set down that foot and stomp it out. I encourage you to play with movement, play in your body. It feels good, it's fun, and it's good for you. And doing stuff that's good for you is important for you. Important. It's a strange word in my mouth for some reason. Let's do a little lunging. I'm going to step up a little bit so that I can step back with that left foot. Do a nice forward lunge. Again, focusing in on these hips. Trying to keep them in parallel with each other as opposed to kinked over to one side. Checking in with this front knee, that it's not pushing past those toes, and adjusting if need be. Pressing that back heel toward the ground or the floor. Let's raise those hands up and make sure not to crunch in the shoulders. And then I'm going to push into that diagonal line, pushing with that heel and imagining an energetic line coming out my fingertips. And then I'm going to shift that back heel, shifting these hips, opening to the side plane here. Opening with this knee. I'm going to slide that back heel out a little bit to come into a deep side triangle lunge. Again, looking for that diagonal line from my heel and out these fingertips. Remembering to breathe and smile, of course. Did I forget to say? Bring this hand down on the inside of that leg for a nice deeper lunge, and then bringing that leg back to meet the back leg, pushing into downward facing dog or triangle or tent position. Tilting the pelvis toward the back of the head, pressing the heels toward the floor, pressing the heart toward the center of the earth. And then stepping forward with that left foot in between the hands. Sliding that back heel back a little bit to get a nice deep lunge. And then stepping forward into forward fold. Like to give a nice sigh and then roll on up. Checking in with the spine again. Just bring the arms up overhead. Get the hair back in line and then step back with that right foot. A nice deep lunge. Again, checking in with these hips, trying to get them perpendicular, feet in a parallel line, the back hip pressing toward the floor, nice and long and strong through the abdomen, pulling up in the pelvic floor, relaxed in the shoulders, and bringing arms up overhead, and then pushing into that diagonal line. Slide that heel back a little bit so that I'm not crunching past those toes with the knee. And then I'm going to open that hip, shifting my heel onto the perpendicular, opening this knee. Imagining I'm pressing my body against a flat plane on this side. And then slide that back heel out and come into a side triangle. Bring the arm over onto that diagonal line. Bringing this hand down on the inside of that leg and bringing that leg back to meet the back leg, pressing back in downward facing dog. Treading those heels toward the floor. And then stepping up with that right foot up in between the hands. Getting a nice deep lunge stretch there before stepping forward. Again with that back foot to the front foot. Hanging here. Again in a nice forward fold and then rolling up. One more time. Stacking one vertebra on the next. Right. I think that feels like a nice little stretching session. I encourage you to do what feels good in your body. Remember to find ways to play in your body every day. Take good care of your body because it's the one thing you can't live without. And you are worthy of your own love, your own trust, your own attention. First, foremost, always and always. Because the better care you take care of you, the better care you can offer to others. So, yeah, get to it. Happy Tuesday, if it's Tuesday where you are. Happy day, wherever you are. Till next time, thanks for stopping by. Ciao.